You know, if I wanted to watch a team play sloppy and just toss the puck around, I would have gone and watched some beer league hockey tonight. Probably would have been more fun.
Sucker blood. I want to overact. What was that? This is going to be a good year. Not too shabby. The best game ever.
Hello, welcome to Hawks Recap. Game 59 has concluded and the Blackhawks lose at home to the Columbus Blue Jackets by a score of 5-2. Now, the Hawks outshot the Blue Jackets 41-30 in this game, but that was really all because of the second period where the Hawks outshot Columbus 20-9. That was really the only good period the Hawks played in this one, and so don't get too caught up in those numbers. It was a sloppy game. Hawks, just nothing coming easy for them in this one. First period was pretty back and forth for both teams. Both goaltenders, Bobrovsky and Ward, basically had to stand on their heads at times in the first period. This could have easily been a 4-3 game at the end of one. It would basically take a perfect shot to beat them, and well, that happened 12 and a half minutes into the game when Pierre-Luc Dubois, rushing on the outside, just puts a perfect shot up and over the shoulder of Cam Ward. Yeah, Cam was down a little bit early, but it was a heck of a shot, and so the Columbus Blue Jackets take the one-goal lead just past midway through this first period. With a little under 4 minutes left to go in the period, the Blackhawks found themselves on the power play, and they would find a way to capitalize on it, showing the world that their once hot power play isn't quite completely ice cold yet. I'm surprised they got this one, because with how sloppy the Hawks were with their passing and puck handling in this game, with the amount of passes they made to get this goal, to get this puck onto Patrick Kane's stick, it was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Patrick Kane pots it home, pretty much an empty net. Pretty much took a perfect passing play to beat Bobrovsky with how he was playing in this one. Tie game 1-1. And of course, 17 seconds, yes, 17 seconds after that, Panarin scores to put the Blue Jackets back on top. I don't know what Dahlstrom was doing here. Borgstrand had the puck below the goal line. Panarin's in the slot. Dahlstrom recognizes that Panarin's in the slot. He goes and covers him, except he doesn't cover him. Like, he's just there. He doesn't take the stick away. He doesn't put a body on him. He doesn't do anything. He's just standing there. The puck goes by and Panarin gets it, and well, it's Panarin. He's going to score. He does. 2-1 Blue Jackets. It's disappointing, but not that big of a deal. We were down 2-1 going into the second period in the last game against the New Jersey Devils. We can come back again from this. Unfortunately, with about 40 seconds remaining in the period, the Blackhawks have the puck in the offensive zone. Looks like they're going to pretty much have the last good chance of the period. Murphy goes to pass the puck and swing and a miss. Puck just took a bad bounce and just hopped right over his stick. And it leads to a 2-on-1 with Atkinson and Panarin. Atkinson with the puck, passes to Panarin. Panarin then passes it back to Atkinson for the tap-in. It's 3-1 Blue Jackets going into the second. So yeah, that sucks. But credit the Hawks, they come out in the second period firing and looking to, well, get back into this game. So the Hawks get 20 shots in the second period. The Blue Jackets only get 9. And yet, it was completely frustrating because Bobrovsky decided to play his little God Mode card and show everyone why he's won 2 Vezina trophies. Like, what is it going to take to beat this guy? We find out how, with about 35 seconds left to go in the period, Patrick Kane threads the needle to Gustafsson, who's driving the back post. Bobrovsky slides over, completely committed. Gustafsson decides to then just take it around the back of the net, wrap around, but just gives it to Taves, who's just right there at that post. He taps it in, wide open net. So 2 for 2 in this game. We figure out that we can score a goal on Bobrovsky as long as there is a wide open net. So for all of you keeping track at home, late period goals against you, not good. Late period goals for you, good. Hawks now back in this game, down 3-2, going into the third period with momentum. Unfortunately, 12 seconds into the third period. Oh, hold on. Let me back up here. Blackhawks win the opening faceoff of the third. Cuckoo then just makes a terrible pass and ices it. Offensive zone faceoff for the Blue Jackets. They win it. They get a shot from the point, and it hits off Panarin's stick, takes a ridiculous bounce off the ice, up and over Cam Ward and into the back of the net. And just like that, it's 4-2. And when I say it hits Panarin's stick, I mean it literally just hits Panarin's stick. Like, he wasn't in front of the goal screening. He wasn't even looking at the puck to redirect it. He had his back towards the shot. He was crossovering, turning to get to the far post or get to the opposite face-off dot for a one-timer. He's just carrying his stick behind him as he's crossing over, and the puck just hits it and redirects and perfectly goes in. Like, really? Okay. This game's not going to go our way. Credit the Blue Jackets after that. They completely just shut down the Hawks. The Hawks got 6 shots on goal. That's what the box score says for the third period. I'm surprised at that number. I don't even remember a shot in that third period. Like, they couldn't even get into the offensive zone, let alone get a shot. It was, maybe they counted the dump-ins. Were those shots? Maybe. So the Blackhawks lose by a score of 5-2, which means they cannot take advantage of the Oilers losing yesterday, the Wild blowing their big lead yesterday and losing in overtime, the Oilers, the Stars, and the Avalanche losing today. Canucks are losing right now as of filming. And really the only team that has won and now has jumped over the Hawks is the Arizona Coyotes, who beat the Maple Leafs, shut out the Maple Leafs. Kind of thought maybe the Leafs would help us out a little bit. Nope, apparently not. Matthews, I guess, has a soft spot for his hometown. So I guess, it's not really that bad since they didn't really lose any ground with all those teams losing, but they didn't gain any ground with those favorable results, which means that, that the next time the Hawks win, all those teams are going to win as well, which means the Hawks won't gain any ground. Like, this is just another reason why I just don't think this team's going to make the playoffs, especially if they play like they did tonight. And let's just hypothetically, let's say they do make the playoffs. Let's say they do. They'd have to play teams like the Blue Jackets or the Bruins. Those teams are Eastern Conference, but you know what I'm saying. They got to play good teams, playoff teams. And it probably looked like the type of game we saw tonight. It doesn't look good. Look, I know I sound pessimistic about this. I get it, and you probably don't want to hear it, right? But I try to be an honest person. I try to tell you what my gut feels, okay, or what my brain says, at least. So when I say this, I'm saying it in good nature. Like, yeah, of course I'd like to see the Blackhawks just completely, go on a tear and just, win another Stanley Cup. Of course I do. But I just don't see it happening right now. Even with the big win streak they put together, Hawks seem like they're now back to, more maybe 500 pace, and that's just not going to do it. That's not going to get them into the playoffs. It's funny. The other day I was watching a video from the hockey guy. You guys probably already know him. If you don't, just search for the hockey guy on YouTube and you'll find him. He puts out good videos. And he was talking about the Western Conference playoff race. And he was talking about, which teams he thought maybe would actually go on and make the playoffs. And he's talking about how the Blackhawks, he thought had a good chance of doing that, but he also kind of thought that they were maybe peaking too soon. And all I could think about in that was just, Shannon! Like, the fact that you're even talking about the Hawks right now is because we're peaking and we're streaking, and we're peaking while we're streaking. Like, we have to be peaking right now to even be in this conversation. If we weren't streaking, we weren't peaking, we'd be calculating out scenarios and creating algorithms and doing everything we can to figure out just what our chances were to get Hughes. That's the difference between the whole streaking and peaking that we're in right now. I just kind of found that funny. Besides that, the Hawks up next, they have a couple good matchups. They play Ottawa on Monday night, and then they play at Detroit Wednesday night. Those two games, if the Hawks want to make a run for the playoffs, they have to beat teams that are below them in the standings. The Hawks have a good chance to do that against Ottawa and Detroit, and they're going to have to. They're going to have to get wins in both those games. And with that said, thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that as always. But most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.